Hello, everyone. My name is Stanley St. Rose, and today we're going to be talking about Breath, Eyes, Memory, written by Edwidge Danticat. Now, before I go into summary analysis of this work, please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and/or comment so that the channel can continue to grow. Alright, so Breath, Eyes, Memory by Edwidge Danticat. Really um, dark work here. We're going to be discussing rape, trauma, sex. There's a lot. So basically, within this work, there's a girl by the name of Sophie. Sophie is well, she's gone through a lot in her life. So she was born in Haiti. Her mother was raped by a tonton macoute um, during that historical period in Haiti. Tonton macoutes had a lot of power. They pretty much could kill anybody, rape anybody. There was no courts against them. These were individuals that were above the law. They're like a secret part of the government that just ran operations, and they just ran the country. The they had all the power during that time in Haiti. And Tonton Macoutes, they killed people, hung people. It was part of the government. I mean, they just did whatever they want. If they wanted to rape somebody, they could. If they wanted to bury you, pour honey on you, and let the ants have their way, they could. I mean, Tonton Macoutes were just brutal, and they kept the country underneath their power and control. So, in a system like that where there's no due process, there's no rights, you're literally at the mercy of the governing body. And this story, we can see how much that the Totomakuts affected certain families, especially Sophie's family. So the mother, Sophie's mother, she was raised by Totomakut in a sugarcane field, and you know, her mother had her, and later within the work, the mother just basically told her, "Listen, your father raped me. Your father was part of this group in the country, and he just raped me, and you're born, and I'm your mother." So it's that blunt. This is a story about these Haitian women. There's a lot of things that are happening that are not, I guess you can say that they're not medically correct. Like, they do hymen tests, and hymen tests are, it's when, you take young girls, and I mean, there's a lot of third world countries around the world that still do these things. I mean, when you do research on certain things that happen to women around the world, especially in the area of sex, it gets pretty dark. Female circumcision, things like the hymen test. In certain cultures, they take women at a young age, and they will perform female circumcision, just cutting the clitoris off. And the people who are doing this are not they're not medical personnel. They're just taking a knife and, just cutting. Um, so within this work, I mean, it's been going on through the generations where the mothers or the women would just take the little girls, and they would periodically, um, you know, they would periodically take these women and um, stick their fingers into their vaginas and try to figure out if the hymen was broken or not. Now, as you can imagine, your mom sitting you down and, going to your area like that, and just, you know, using their hands to figure out if you're a virgin or not, is that's not really something that you want to to deal with. I mean, it's like Sophie is traumatized. Um, and I mean, how does a child process that? Is it rape? Is it like it's your well? The thing is, like, it's your mother. It's your mother going into your body in a very sacred, private place, and your mother just going around and trying to figure out if your hymen's not broken. And that's what happens to Sophie. And it's like, I don't want you to be there. Why is your hands there? You're my mother, so I don't know how to interpret this. You're doing this because you don't trust me. You're doing this because you thought that I'm not a virgin anymore. And the mother does this test angrily when the mother thought that she slept with her boyfriend by the name of Joseph. And so this really ruined, I mean, it pretty much destroyed the relationship between Sophie and her mother in this work. And, we do learn within the work that this has been going on in the family for a long time. The mother reveals that her mother did it to her. And we can imagine that, this just happens within a lot of families that are not educated about um, how, sex works and how medicine works. Because, the hymen test, it's been proven that it's not reliable, that a woman can have sex and the hymen doesn't break. So when you do study female biology, you do know that this type of vaginal test to figure out if a woman is a virgin or not is not ultimately true. So, um, yeah, these women are doing these tests to figure out if something happened, but there's no telling. Um, so throughout the work, Sophie at a young age, she had to go through these tests because they start pretty young to figure out if these young girls are not having sex. Later, Sophie gets moved to America to be with her mother, and when she moves to America, she's kind of really pissed and angry at her mother because she was left in Haiti as a baby when her mother immigrates to the United States to work in New York. She works 2 jobs, sends money back to Haiti for the family to take care of themselves. So the mother is supporting herself, paying her bills, paying her rent, and also paying for the family back in Haiti, food, rent, and everything else. So the mother is doing the best that she can to support herself and her family, and also this daughter of hers that is the daughter of a rapist, and or she's paying to take care of the daughter of her rapist. So the mother has her own trauma and her own things that she's dealing with. I mean, mentally she's wrecked. Here's this rapist that trauma you're dealing with. Here's a daughter that hates you because you've been missing all of her life, and it's quite complex because from the mother's standpoint, no one truly knows how she feels about this because you're trying to connect with your daughter, that is your rapist's daughter. Your daughter also hates you, but your daughter doesn't truly understand that you kind of see her some type of way because this having your daughter was never like something you sat down and thought about, and it wasn't a pleasant experience for you. So you do understand the side of the daughter feeling abandoned, feeling rejected, but you also understand the side of the mother because she's dealing with a lot, mental problems, and also the things that she has to deal with as a human being, like paying bills and things like that. So in the work, after the mother did perform that hymen test when Sophie's a lot older, um, you know, Sophie, the mother angrily performs this vaginal test to figure out if the hymen is broken. And then ultimately, Sophie takes a pencil and breaks her hymen herself. And the mother thinks that, well, you need to be kicked out. You're having sex and all this, so you can't be in my house. Sophie leaves with her boyfriend. And, later she gets married to that boyfriend, to Joseph, and they have a baby girl. And then later, both the mother and Sophie, they end up back in Haiti with the grandmother. So the whole family gets brought back together, and they kind of hash it out, talk about the trauma, talk about these tests. What do they prove? Why are we doing this? because it's kind of strange. I mean, this is it's just having your mother, as a little girl growing up, just to trying to understand the concept is traumatic, because like having your mother telling you to get it undressed or to open your legs for her to fish around and figure out if you're a virgin or not. It's not really an experience that you want to have with your mother, for this young girl. So these women are all messed up because at some point, as little girls, as young women, they all had to do this to one another. And, well, it's between the lines of way uncomfortable rape, assault. Like, there are no words to really describe what's going on here. So all these women, the mothers, the daughters, they're all kind of traumatized. Ultimately, Sophie and her mother, after going to Haiti, they do go back to the U.S. They start to get closer. They start to fix their relationship. Sophie's mother, she gets pregnant, but she doesn't want to go through another pregnancy. She's reminded of her rapist. She feels like the baby's whispering to her and threatening her, so the mother ends up killing herself, committing suicide, killing the baby within her. She stabs herself and the mother dies. Sophie goes back to Haiti. They bury the mother, and then Sophie goes into this sugarcane field and violently goes berserk, destroying sugarcane. And the grandmother's like, you're free now. In terms of deeper meaning and analysis, I mean, this is what happens. I mean, the dark secrets of history, the dark secrets of the world, man. This is just one of them. I mean, when we think about ancient countries, empires, you think about the rapes, the mass rapes, the killings, the beheadings, the pillagings. I mean, whenever, before civil rights and human rights and all these nice little terms that we like to use, in the modern world, before all of that, you can imagine all the types of rapes and assaults and things that were just commonplace in the ancient world. Um, things like rape and assault weren't really crimes. They weren't crimes until like 100 years ago. That's how, that's when women are getting rights to vote, women are getting rights to own property, women are getting rights to do all these types of things. This is when crimes against women started to be um, on the books. So within the spirit in Haiti of um, Tonton Macout's, Sophie's story is not that rare. I mean, during this time, it probably happened to a lot of women, because the Tonton Macout's, they did everything that they wanted. They could beat men, they could assault men and women, whoever they wanted. They could do whatever they want. And you can imagine all the types of mental health problems, all the traumas that happen to so many different types of women and different types of families, and how this happens generationally. So the dark side of sex and the underbelly of things like this, these things still exist around the world. Sex trafficking is still a real thing. I mean, we hear stories like this on the news all the time of horrible people doing horrible things to human beings. And it's a reality it's just there are no words to describe it. In terms of the title, Breath, Eyes, Memory, um, I mean, there's some. I mean, the memory part for me. I mean, some memories can be haunting. Sophie's memory, or all the women's memories of rape, assault. Being examined, having your hymen being examined. These are real things that women in the sex trafficking world, in third world countries, in certain Arab countries, these are things that women probably still go through, well, not probably, but still go through these days of being examined to see if they're still virgins, female circumcision. These are things that still exist to this day. Um, and they're horrific because a lot of times when female circumcision happen, women can't enjoy sex anymore because they're mutilated. Even Sophie within this work, she says that she can't enjoy sex with her husband because, I mean, she damaged her hymen with a pencil. Um, so I like, just taking an object and going into your vagina to do that type of damage is probably not medically sound, and who knows what type of damage she did to herself with all of that. Um, so it's a very dark subject, and in memory, part of the title of this work, memory, is probably uh, one of the most haunting parts of it, because these things that happen to you, you'll probably remember them. The part of the title, breath, eyes. I mean, again, um, for me, when you think about it, there are certain circumstances you face in life. Breath, eyes, I think, is what you see, what you know, what you experience, your breathing. You think about all these traumatic situations. Think about I'm thinking about PTSD. I'm thinking about high stakes situations. These women. When you're being assaulted, when you're being raped, when things are happening to your body that you're not in control of. These are the things that probably does something to your mental state, your soul. These are things that defile you. These are things that take a piece of you away, and for a snap second, it shatters you. So there are many broken pieces of these women that even when they try to pick up the pieces, it's hard to keep moving forward because these things are so horrific that they'll be pasted into your memory for your whole life, and you kind of have to keep moving forward with certain bad memories of what happened to you in the past. And these things can be so bad that it can lead to suicide, because Sophie's mother ends up killing herself because she just can't go through another pregnancy because the rape was just unthinkable. And when you think about it, some of these rapes happen to young teenage girls, and when your brain's barely formed and you haven't made any decisions about what you like or your sexual, like, you're just, when you're that young, or when you're just developing as a human being and something like that happens to you, uh I don't know. It's like sometimes rape victims will talk about they separate their bodies from their soul, or it's like a out of body experience. Like, no one knows how the brain and the soul and the spirit and the body, just how does it interpret all of that. But it is shattering. So, um, but this work does show you how these types of things affect generations of people and how deadly it can be. So that's all I have to say about this work. Please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and or comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.